Hi, hope you're having a lovely day. I'm Deriv'era in the game Tenka by Psygnosis. I'm playing it on the real hardware, real WindowsXP machine, and I capture the output with HDMI recording box, so no virtual machines involved. Tenka was released in 97. Actually, it's Windows 95 game, but 95, 98 and XP share a DirectX API support up to DirectX 9. And regarding multimedia apps, XP doesn't have breaking changes, so experience is mostly the same. XP is just 6 years newer than 95. It's impossible to officially buy the game today, so the link to download page will be in the description. With this being said, let's take a look on the manual first. That's the best quality I've got. It comes with the disk box of PC version of the game. Of course I don't have it, I have only this PDF file. Press F1 to invert the mouse. Devs put it at the top of the manual because the game has no indication of it in options and no other mention of this ability, even no indicator when you press F1. No manual, feel pain, good old days. Game describes how to install itself, probably because in era of Windows 95, this OS was far from a true gamer system. DirectX wasn't popular at the moment. I like how they put game may start up at this point after putting disk into a drive, or may not. Who the hell knows this stupid Windows system and settings? I bet Windows version was an afterthought, and main release was prepared for PlayStation 1 because PlayStation was much more popular gaming platform than Windows back in the days. The same way I love start new game, begins a new game. I bet this manual has been written by programmer. Level of commands in the code I usually personally make. Don't describe difficult stuff and comment on self-explanatory variables. Without this manual, it's impossible to understand the story. With manual, you lose track of logic out there fast enough. Anyways. And when I played back in my childhood, I understood nothing. In short, Tenka is the name of protagonist. Bionoids are produced by some evil corporation as some kind of an army. And they are your enemies. That's basically the whole plot in short. Manual paints Zenith Rebel Organic Memory Package as a helper and yourself as a defender, but it's fully misleading and there is no information on how and why you got your prototype warfare suit. Neither the source of Zenith or your super self-modifying gun that only you use in the game. Okay, with the story told, let's mount the CD. Black box with buttons. No design, but at least Psygnosis have put logo on the installer startup. Psygnosis symbol is one of my favorite logos of all times. Impossible not to love this all. From this list, I speak only English sadly, then we experience some Windows XP error lag. That feels like the game has stuck. I really wanted to feel how this lag felt back in the days. Let's do typical installation of software, no rebelling today. Have you ever saw installation was so blazingly fast? So we have missed all the screenshots. DirectX 3 actually is an interesting part because it was one of the versions where Microsoft introduced Direct 3D, but not many games, actually quite a few even use DirectX, not even saying about Direct 3D. Tenka is using DirectX only for hardware compatibility. Renderer actually is full software and you will fully notice it. Showing game requirements after installation is super useful stuff to do. All hopes Pentium dual cores that I have will be enough for it. You can notice they ask for video adapter for some reason, but I think video adapter needed only to hold the screen picture for that game and maybe double buffering stuff, cause double buffer was introduced with first DirectX and that's the reason to ask for 1 MB of memory. Also Tenka needs 1 MHz more at the CPU frequency than Quake 2. Yes, Quake 2 requirement was lower and just 90 MHz. I don't use my Sound Blaster sadly because I need to send audio stream into HDMI channels so I can record it, but sound works for some reason because most likely it's DirectX sound. with working 3D positioning they used. I don't really understand why they even mention Sound Blaster here. Game is able to work in pretty high resolution of its era, so I'm not sure why they restricted higher resolutions. Nvidia drivers don't allow Windows XP to work with setups higher than Full HD, sadly, when my 660 Ti is definitely able to go up to 4K. But still, it's much better than some games with locked resolutions, without ability to change it and without widescreen support. So, thank you Psygnosis. This way playing Tenka on PC is better experience than on PlayStation. You see more details. To start the game they have a BAT file. Let's take a look to find out that it has fixed letter of the drive, and for sure for me it won't work cause my letter of virtual drive is different. Imagine if you're a person with low PC knowledge and trying to install and run this game and you fail on Windows 95. That may be the end of your gaming career and trauma for the rest of your life. So I'll try to start the game from CD menu. That looks simply amazing, and it's different from PS1 intro. PS1 had only a logo, and now game tries to explain the story by itself. Let's watch. So, my guess is you were in captivity and someone saved you. That's my understanding at least. From where exactly did you get your weapon or suit? Still a mystery. If you played PS1 game, first you notice there is no ripple effect in the menu. No idea why they removed it. Maybe it was just lazy to make it to the port. I can't use a mouse to navigate the menu in first-person shooter, right? And it is yet another reason to think about PC version as an afterthought. Let's set up graphics to the maximum. What concerns me here is no setup for FPS log, and as I know at least this game has problems with FPS going high on modern PCs, but Tenka's engine thankfully supports widescreen, so we will play normal appropriate 16:9 with 65,000 colors. Let's take a look on controls. That looks weird. For the full first impression, we will leave it as is. Imagine you have no experience of playing games other than Doom, so you have no idea which controls do you need. and to test controls you rotate 3D model of running monster. Even to this day it is the weirdest way to check controls I have ever seen, and I don't really understand what it checks regarding FPS game, but Psygnosis had their way. Maybe they just liked the model and they had no idea where to put it and they put it into control test menu. Game credits list. PC version port of the game has been implemented by only one person. One person PC army master race. It would be cool actually to one day make a video follow-up where I compile history of Psygnosis with the experiences whole and what actually happened to all these people in the industry afterwards. Like this video, subscribe, comment about it if you like the idea. Anyways, let's actually finally start the game itself, shall we?
Something went wrong with the preparation of my body. My brain aches, as if there's something deep inside it trying to overpower me. I must fight back against this terrible pain and the weakness in my limbs. And there are things here. I can't think. I want to destroy this place to stop them creating more things. They're gonna help me. There must be a power core here, surely.
To this day I have no idea what this 3 levels picture shows you in intros. Full mystery, but that's how the story being introduced in Tenka. Okay, sensitivity is rather normal, then but still feels unpleasant. WASD obviously doesn't work, you move on arrows, and it uses left and right arrow to rotate. That is probably kind of obvious to use it this way. Also you can notice that perspective distortion of textures feels strange. Most likely it's due to how optimization of 3D rendering works in this game. I assume devs avoided to use floating point, so they implemented a way of rendering similar to PS1. Also, you can't reconfigure game controls without quitting the game to the menu. That's actually what I wanted to do after entering first level, but it's simply impossible. I guess splitting software on menu part and game part from manual now makes sense. The speed of the game feels strange regarding my past PlayStation 1 experience. From one side I move with the usual speed that actually I think appropriate. On the other side this gun shoots bullets like a machine gun. PS1 version had more like a cannon timing. Game teaches you about color keys by just putting it almost on your way in a small kind of a room. You obviously needed to open doors, come on, it's 1997, what did you expect? Of course doors with colors are here, like in all normal shooters of... Well, actually, okay, in Quake I don't remember. Did they have doors with color keys? Probably not. So logically in 97 it already was an outdated idea. First pretty annoying problem I encountered on the first level is how to crouch, actually. So I have no ability to look up the controls because I don't have physical manual and I don't want to risk pressing Alt-Tab. C? No. Control? No. Control is to shoot. Alt space? Well, space is to jump, at least something assigned correctly. Imagine playing FPS for the first time in your life and game asks you to crouch without saying what key you should press for that. Right mouse button, by the way, is used for forward movement, and it's impossible to just guess a button for crouch. You need to try each button on your keyboard. And during this process I accidentally inverted the mouse by pressing F1 and didn't notice it, so you can guess that it also was painful. So they wanted to add invert mouse functionality to the game that is changeable when you actually play the game without going to menu. But Psygnosis didn't add any other place to check or change it in the menus. Appeared that to crouch you need to press M. Out of all buttons, M. If you play with control to shoot, arrows to move, page down to look up, and delete to look down, how you supposed to press M to crouch if for some reason you're playing without a mouse on Windows PC? Well, 90s gaming, that's the answer. I would say it was super fun time because you didn't know what to expect from games in any aspect. Wobbly graphics and lighting maps, sign of its era. Quake 2 released the same year, 1997. Tenka uses software renderer only. It's actually impressive that someone aside of ID Software and Carmack achieved this picture quality. But at the time, original Quake 2 had much better fluidity in collisions and rendering of open spaces, so I assume no one actually beats Carmack in terms of game engine's math. Tenka basically has no open spaces at all, only corridors, and even them engine renders with some sort of struggles. Green cubes that we are gathering, by the way, are needed to grow your weapon. That is what manual states about the process of upgrading your character's gun. So when you gather enough green cubes, you get radar or weapon upgrades and, well, laser maybe, why not. Controls feel clumsy, to say the least. At the start of the game on first level and second level, Tenka doesn't feel difficult, and this will change, trust me. One of the ways to make their games longer used by Psygnosis, and not only by them, is to make them super difficult. I have no idea how is it possible to finish this game using arrows and these controls. Ancient Windows XP era gamers, you have my full respect. If players use Windows 95 to play the game, they must have mouse. How to use Windows without a mouse even? So why not to come up with normal controls, like I believe they played their own creation. They had quality assurance in the credits. And no one said, guys, should we make controls more friendly? But okay, maybe they never played like any other FPS, I don't know. Maybe it's like... You can notice that explosion effect looks strange. There is a catch. Game doesn't have transparent textures at all. I bet there is no depth buffer, so engine simply sorts polygons to render them from afar to close ones. And to imitate transparency, it simply uses dithering. Pixels are drawn in checker pattern. Still, it has weird depth order visual glitches. I assume it's because checker pattern of explosion matches checker pattern of other obstacles. So the one on top annihilate the effect underneath, and they didn't find a way to avoid it because, like, well, it's ancient technology. By the way, if controls on PC feel awkward, don't worry, on PlayStation 1 they weren't much better. But Anatomy of Gamer allows gamers to get used to playing with any controls, especially when you have not many alternatives. Quake 2 isn't endless. Other differences, I noticed that laser pointer works differently from PS1 version. In PSX version you are able to see 3 dots on the wall, but in PC version it has been removed and you only see 3 rays. Finally, the end of first level is here. In the end of first level you finally can save quiet and change controls. Yes, you can save only between missions, not during them. Finally, it's time to make this game playable, or at least to make life easier. So I set up WASD with normal strafe, crouch on C, change weapon on V, or overall access this menu, inventory or whatever on V. There is no confirm settings, you can only escape settings. Game doesn't allow any mistakes. Also, no options to remove inversion. Yeah, you need somehow to find out about F1 on your own. And now finally we can watch intro for the next mission and finally started.
Jameson died, I know it. So why do I hear an echo of his life somewhere in my head? Why do I sense his grip? Did he save me from that preliminary conversion? God! And why can't he save me now? From the pain!
Listen to me.
I'm going round the loop in here. Listen to me. Gotta move. Gotta poke this hotel for good.
This intro told us about Jameson, and to be honest, I haven't found any information about Jameson and who is he, but I assume it's that guy in the intro video that stopped our conversion and disappeared or died or whatever. If you Google Tenka Jameson, actually you find only whiskey. That counts, I guess. How we found out that he is dead anyways? No idea. In summary, there is a friend of Tenka named Jameson, and this guy exists to fill some plot hole with the plot. built out of holes, so it didn't help much. And what was that woman's voice? It's Zenith, and she doesn't sound friendly from the beginning, you can notice it, and well, that's her main character, probably, to be calm and cold. Have you even seen a guy who walks forward slowly, but when strafe to the side, man literally sprints all the time? With Tenka, I have a feeling that on strafe, Tenka just simply always sprints, for no reason, and without using stamina. Yes, this pulse in the left bottom corner is our stamina level, and only with normal controls shift became accessible. So now we can sprint, it's a good one. It's still a mystery for me about which FPS, 30 or 60 PC version intended to be played. By how enemies move, I assume it should be 30. On the other side, since you have a mouse, maybe dev just made everything faster to match the target difficulty, cause playing with mouse is easier than with the gamepad. Anyways, I haven't found an easy way to actually change FPS in the Windows settings, and it's WindowsXP, system close to the targeted one for this game. Other call, maybe game wasn't able to achieve 60 FPS on old machines, so people played on 30 FPS just because game lagged. At least I think this was the case for most of the PlayStation 1 era games on PlayStation hardware, because, well, it wasn't super fast device. Anyways, from this point of view, I assume that 60 FPS actually is normal FPS for Tenka, and that is how the game intended to look and feel and be played. Nothing new happens in Hotel, aside of getting a first raider upgrade. By the way, no idea why do you start at Hotel, no one explains you, it's just first levels and that's it. Probably back in the 90s evil corporations did their evil bionoid experiments at hotels, and that's their shady stuff that they usually do in hotels. It might have been a common thing to encounter, and of course we blow this place up because, well, explosions are fun and always a solution.
My escape? Not exactly what I had in mind. But then I'm not sure what I have got up there anymore. Worse still, the trucks dumped me in the pumping heart of the Bionoid construction plant. Annihilating their machines should lock up.
There is no choice.
Should lock up production forever.
Obey me.
Yeah, time to administer a cardiac arrest of my own.
You must obey me.
And for some reason, Tenka decided to fight Bionoids. Just because, why not? Third level introduces flying cylinders, enemy that isn't so easy to hit even while using mouse, and blue cubes. And Mighty Manual actually doesn't describe what they do. Google doesn't help as well. Logic is it's something to do with the weapon, like give you 5 green cubes or something like this, because they look like green cubes but blue. Other assumption is it improves shield, but there is no numbers and I didn't notice any difference. Shield is blue, cube is blue. It should be connected somehow. Anyways, to this very moment I have no idea what blue cubes do, but I collect them because, well, I can. And why not? Also, with progress of learning how to play this game and getting used to shooting with the awkward mouse movement, I started to do headshots. Yeah, this game has headshots and Quake 2 doesn't. That's one of the essential skills here for some of the future enemies before you get powerful laser that just destroys everything like it's nothing. Yeah, devastating weapon. Third level is a place where you meet first problems with how this game works. Well, not like huge problems, but still it's very strange. It has turrets that are unable to shoot through doors. It might have been done intentionally to give you a chance to shoot them down. It might be a collision problem because Tenka is terrible in terms of collisions with walls. It's like a really painful moment. In future you will understand why. It can be anything, but it looks super strange. You open the door, you have 6 turrets shooting at you, and you're safe until the moment you step out. Just simply, why? level goal is to destroy all production units that spawn enemies on you. Well, that's it. Let's move to the next one.
The entrance to a bio-research lab. And this voice, it's beginning.
You are quite correct.
Who? What? What do you want?
I am Zenith. It will become clear. For now, be content to know that there is information in these labs. Valuable information. Protected, of course. You must collect hollow cubes. MCP security walls surround them. A machine has been sabotaged. I take it you can carry out the necessary repairs?
In any uncertain situation, gather hollow cubes. You can notice how rapidly game changes the environments and introduces you to new enemies, new level designs, and even some new goals and kind of FPS puzzles. That's a good part of Tenka. First levels of Tenka. Anyway, here we meet mutants roaming the base with valuable information. And the funniest part is these heads mean no harm. They only make you stuck. Most of them don't reduce your health. Why? I don't know. They just die in a funny way. Also, you can shoot their legs and heads will just lay on the ground and observe you. But mad orange frogs are, well, they inflict harm, reducing your health even if they look logically less dangerous than heads because they're like smaller. Enemy design here is well, Psygnosis was good in creating weird stuff and not so good in some well, in many gameplay mechanics actually. Anyway, these enemies I memorized for my entire life for some reason. LGBT energy shield that protects hollow cube. That's how it's supposed to work when you build protection systems at your organization's headquarters. The other thing that this level introduces is enemies with rockets. And yeah, rockets. It's something you will remember forever about Tenka as well as monsters, because they are freaking powerful, and through a polygonal mess this engine renders poorly. It's not always clear where it flies and will it hit you, will it miss you. These first enemies with rockets are actually pretty simple because they give you a chance to notice they are ready to shoot, and these rockets are unguided and they shoot only once per sitting down. At this level there are almost no rockets coming at you from nowhere without any time to react, and well, yeah, that's a good thing, I guess, for learning about rockets in this game. Besides, when enemy robots bionoids sit down, their head appears in the right spot to do a headshot. I don't get why these running heads rotate so fast when dying and screaming such weird voices, actually the same voice that our Tenka hero actually produces when being hit and there is no shield. How the hell does it supposed to work? As a child, I have never thought of it. Today I'm just, why? Well, Tenka has a lot of why moments. I think that's part of the appeal, because like, well, it leaves a lot of space for you to discuss and dream of. Let's put it this way. Game allows you to shoot through walls. To this day I'm not sure is it intended feature or the problem with collisions, but you can target hidden enemies with targeting frame and kill them while unnoticed. I always thought that at this moment you trigger some kind of mummy cannon, some corpses that fly through tunnel. The mummy flies through tunnel to unlock the PC. No idea even close what it's supposed to represent or mean. It looks like a mummy. Maybe it's some kind of bionoid brain PC, so you hack it and fix it with corpses. Also, I noticed that PC version lacks indicator of any damage on the shield. PS6 version applied blue filter on the screen at this moment goes well. Electromagnetic energy is blue, I guess, but in PC version you never know when you hit because there is no indicators at all, and Tenka starts to produce sounds only when damage reaches his second health bar that is not restorable. Well, technically death and respawn is the only way to restore it, but you got the idea. So game assumes that you must play all the time in the way you may die the next moment, cause when you play on the maximum screen resolution, I love it, officially. Yeah, Hell's Circle is awkwardly small. I don't really understand why they didn't make bigger version of UI for bigger resolutions if they stated that they officially support them with Sprout in system required as well. Actually, who even reads them aside of me? After clearing the room, we definitely are able to see a mummy. If it's not a mummy, write in comment what else it could be. And that's how you break into computers to steal valuable information gathered by three-legged heads, because there is no personnel out here, and I'm not sure how logically all of this can be described, how it can work, and well, you know, they made a plot but left really a lot for your imagination about how it's supposed to be combined together. Next level has no introduction, so no word from Tenka about Jameson, and no schizophrenic thoughts from Zenith, the suspiciously calm woman. I guess the idea is it's the second part of the previous level and you saved all your case so far. Also, I acquired new weapons, Smatrifier or whatever it's called, and I recalled at this moment that actually I should have already got before this level, double shot weapon, double shot cannon modification, whatever you can call it, because it's being introduced before Smatrifier, and Smatrifier is one of the most useless weapons in the game actually. So take a look on how my weapon changed itself to add second barrel, and it's not the limit, or it's not actually a barrel but some bullet holder or cooler. I'm not sure how this gun works anyway, neither do devs I think. Does the upgrade feel more powerful? Slightly. How does this upgrade contribute to depleting all of your ammo? Heavily. Basically, the only reason I had no problems with ammo so far until this point is the fact that I didn't notice getting double shot mode. Because if you play on PlayStation and you notice it, for some reason on PlayStation you have big line on the top saying that you got new weapon, and it's always noticeable. Here it's just a quad somewhere in the top left corner, some little box saying that you got it that disappears immediately. This was the first level where I stuck as a child. I remember it well. How many times I died. I was small and inexperienced. So far I can tell you that I like PC version more than PlayStation 1, and the main reason is it's so much more dynamic and comfortable to play with mouse instead of gamepad if you set up normal controls. Doom was released 2 years prior to the release of Tenka. Duke Nukem 3D was released in 1996, a year prior, and Tenka is fully 3D game. Just imagine how fast PC hardware was moving forward. And here it is, Tenka's engine polygon culling in action.
Production stopped, like stamping on a fly. Now's the time for me to vanish while I'm still breathing.
Calm yourself, Tenka. Nothing can happen to you while you're in my hands. You must proceed.
What the...
Would you like to have Zenith in your head telling you what to do? What I like about her, she is just straightforward using Tenka for her own goals without even pretending to be good. Like in many games, AI, I assume Zenith is AI, such things play innocence and then turn on the player. In Tenka, Zenith is just, well, she just tells you to destroy this, destroy that, steal this, steal that. I need information, meet my goals, and poor immigrant guy, yeah, our Tenka escaped Earth. It's just, okay, Zenith, but I hate you. Get out of my head. But he can't do anything. It's a nightmare. Immigrant nightmare probably, where you're not protected by anyone around there, if even any protection exists in this shattered Tenka world. The whole room being colored if stand in the right place. I assume that Tenka is using something similar to what Doom uses, called binary partition tree. Basically an idea to build a tree of nodes consisting of smaller nodes to divide level to easily processable areas of visibility. Technique that made Doom possible. So in Tenka they somehow pre-calculate positions from where you can see the room, but it's not calculated right. Other assumption, they set it up view angles for level parts manually, and they just missed some spots. Anyways, let's skip to next level because this one actually not the most interesting one. And let's jump right into my favorite one.
It tells me that Jameson is alive. A voice in my head speaks to me and tells me he's alive and orders me to do this, do that. Somewhere in the complex there's a spike. Find it and we can slice into the primary computer bank, it says. Then we find the location of Jameson's cell. And I know that I don't want to be here. But my mind tells me I have to be.
It's a game about bodies. We just want to save our body, or his brain, or his program. You never know here what is left from your body. Why this level is my favorite? Because of enemies. I sincerely think that all enemies on this level, aside of flying cylinders, are peak of enemy design from Psygnosis and Tenka. Other games from them have some good ones too. I want to say as well that this new environment picked the top as well, but so far everything just feels like dark corridors of the same facilities that don't make much sense. But this particular style and enemies feel as organic combination and true cyberpunkish part of Tenka. Their top singularity, if you know what I mean. Probably you don't. I don't judge. I will say that in terms of level design, Tenka needs a map, but we will return to it. Early levels still are pretty straightforward. Yes, we didn't come on to the middle of the game. As well on this level, prison is being introduced, and by the stand of level design, actually it's one of the most memorable places probably in Tenka universe, in Tenka game. It's possible to open particular ones, but of course you will open all simply cause of supplies and enemies with green cubes. Even if it's a struggle to open them cause of how collisions works, you need to face the one that you want to open, and of course there is no Jameson. They had 5 programmers for this game. It makes some sense because it was more difficult to make games in the 90s. I know they made some additional tooling for the software they used in the era before 3ds Max or Blender. Well, they used Softimage 3D and I have no idea even how it looks. I think I really need to try this software to have at least some perspective on how 3D was made back in the days, to fully understand the pain and the suffering of making all of these models, because 10 artists, remember this number until the point you'll see how much this game repeats itself. I'm not sure why they had 10, most likely because imperfections of software and for how difficult it was to create for them all of these textures and models. And the music and atmosphere was the strongest part of the Psygnosis games, all of them. Even to these days, impact of it feels when you play. Good luck with seeing anything in this darkness. I know it contributes to atmosphere and probably to the length of the gameplay, but when you try to hide something valuable in it, it becomes a bit annoying. Cause, well, imagine you have darker settings on your screen, maybe you even watch this video with darker settings, and you need to find a small room with an enemy holding a key, actually quite a small enemy as well. By the way, the first Quake was released a year prior to Tenka, and it already had light maps. But development of Tenka has started in 1995, so I wonder how they came to this lighting ideas, cause Tenka has really impressive lighting schemes, even if it's dark. Even with all its flaws, Tenka looks super impressive for 1997, with still some enemies that are able to shoot easily through doors. Still a mystery why some of them can't. Not sure why this game has a jump ability, when actually sometimes it prevents you from getting out. They should have made jumps into an upgrade, would be cool, like you're getting the most useless upgrade of the game. And game forces you to walk out, not jump out sometimes. If jump is so useful, why even to have it? Like, Doom was perfectly fine without jumps. Was it made just not to look old? Because really, gameplay wise, jumps aren't used here, like, at all. And yet another prison. I like the depiction of different prison stuff where not your friends sit in the cells, but your enemies that actually are able to attack you with equipment. Why? Why put them there together with supplies? And why when they contaminated a flying cylinder? What did cylinder do to be tortured like this? It flew at high speed into Bionoid or production facility? Why imprison poor flying cylinders? It's cruel. Even the roar of its gravity engine sounds sadder than usually. I remember enemies will spawn here after the activation of the keys. Let's use mines to prevent them of entering the room. Let's be cruel and tactical. Usually you kill yourself with mines, but maybe this time will be different. And mines are intact. They are really effective to kill no one. They may help only if you run out of ammo, but even this way it's probably suicidal to try because you will explode yourself. See you in the second half of the video. Take care.